Welcome to Championship Sunday. It's your boy A-Dub.
And your boy Stress. What's up, SLAC fam?
What's good? We are back again for another edition of Secure the Bag. And our second to last episode, I guess.
Yes.
Dwindling down to the end of the NFL season already. And I think this is definitely one of my favorite Sundays of the year, though, because, the Super Bowl is so big and so hyped up. But really, it's like this is when you figure out who's going to the Super Bowl and who's going to get, all of that celebration and who we're going to be talking about for the next 2 weeks and all of that. So very exciting stuff, very cool stuff. And I think we have two closely matched games to look forward to today.
Big time.
I'm definitely interested to see, Strizzy, your thoughts on the games and how your breakdowns go, because I'll be perfectly honest, even coming into the show today, I'm not quite sure how this is going to play out.
Yeah.
I think I know who I'm going to pick, but both of these games are really, kind of toss-ups for me. So,
I completely agree, man. And that's exactly how you want it to be. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you want it to be like this. Me and my boy Dave, who's Ravens are his number one team, right? Ravens kind of being my number two team. We were talking, early in the year, talking about how good the Ravens were, and like the real test is going to be when they play the Chiefs in the playoffs, right? Like we didn't know it was going to be in the AFC Championship game, but we were like, the Chiefs are going to be the real test for them, and I think that this is what it is. Like in order to get to the Super Bowl, it's like you know what I mean. It's like Mario versus Bowser. You know what I'm saying? It's like you got to get through him to get to Peach.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I feel like that's how it is for Lamar and the Ravens to kind of get through the juggernaut of Patrick Mahomes. I mean, the dude's been in the AFC Championship game his entire career.
Yeah, 6 years in a row now.
Whether he went to the Super Bowl, lost Super Bowl, won the Super Bowl, like he has been to the AFC Championship game, every single year of his career. So Lamar and them boys got a big task in front of them. You know what I'm saying? And Lions too. I feel like that. They're going to play a really good San Francisco team, and San Francisco playing a really good Detroit team. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's not just 100% on the 49ers to do this. They got a tough team for them too. So I'm with you, man. Like these games they're going to be tough. Like I really do think that these are the two best teams in the NFC, and these are the two best teams in the AFC. So
yeah, no, you're right. You're right, totally. I mean, when it comes down to it, sometimes we get to this day and it's like but what have could have been. It's like the way the playoffs played out and the way we saw these teams kind of like sort themselves out. I do think, these are really, the top two teams from each side, and that's how it should be. So I definitely love it. I'm definitely looking forward to some great games today. Last week we did good on the money line. I actually hit all four, and you hit three. So I think that brings us back tied. We'll take a look at it later.
I know, right?
But I think that brings us back tied for the year. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens today. But I do want to remind everybody, we're still doing the Yahoo competition. It's really going to come down to the tiebreaker. So you can pick the two games for today and then put those tiebreakers into C. And also the Super Bowl square grid will be finalized today as far as who the teams are going to be. I'm going to put that all together. We've got 20 spots that we've already given out through the year based on the weekly winners. And then those are on sale now. So hit us up if you're interested in getting a square. They're going to be $5 a square, and we'll see how many we can sell, and hopefully we will fill out the board in the next 2 weeks.
Oh yeah, man. I'm definitely gonna grab a couple myself, you know what I'm saying? So just kind of waiting to see how the rest of the week pans out, you know what I'm saying? So
for sure,
we'll see who wins these next couple money line weeks. So we'll see.
Yeah. No, absolutely. So we'll go ahead and get into our breakdowns for these games, but this is not actual betting advice. We always have to remind ourselves and our viewers, right? This is just our little predictions. We always do the money line, but we're also doing against the spread. So we're going to have, the line there, and we're going to be picking against the spread who is going to win based on that adjusted score. So let's get into it. Let's start with let's start with the first game of today. It is the Chiefs at the Ravens. Baltimore is favored by 4.5. That line has moved down a lot. What are your thoughts, Strizzy, on the game?
Yeah, man. I gotta roll with my boys. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm going with the Ravens. I think that this is going to be one of those games where I think the Chiefs have gotten by really well with their defense, right? And their offense gets the ball a lot back because of that defense. But the Ravens defense is number one in the league right now. And I think their defense is going to be really hard for Kansas City to score on. They really going to have to get that offense rolling, if they want to be able to really kind of stay with it. But on the backside, Ravens offense is going to do the same thing, right? We can't have one of those days where the Ravens offense is trying to figure it out. You know what I mean? Like they're going to have to come in, push and scoring. Hopefully their game plan works. But I do like the Ravens at -4.5. I think that the defense has been on fire, and the offense has also been scoring. Once Lamar gets comfortable,
yeah,
and if the game starts slowing down for him, he looks like the best in the world, even over Patrick. So I like the Ravens a lot in this one, man. I'm really looking forward to them getting over this hump because they haven't been able to get there. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah, I think this is their best chance in a long time. I don't know though. I still have a hard time picking against the Chiefs until we kind of see it happen, right? Until we see them lose. But you're right. Their defense has been the game changer for them this year, and their offense we've seen has been settling for field goals a lot, even against not such great defenses, right? Even in those different circumstances, the offense has kind of slowed themselves down at times.
Mm-hmm.
So I am picking Baltimore in this game, but I am going with the Chiefs on the money. I mean, against the spread.
Yeah, I feel you.
Only because I do think it's going to come down to 2 or 3 points. I do think it's going to come down close. The Chiefs, I feel like their defense will hold it together enough to keep the offense in the game. But, maybe if it comes down to that final drive, the Chiefs are needing to score and they can't, something like that. But I think it is going to be close. I'm thinking it's going to be like a 3-point game.
Yeah.
But I do see the Ravens going forward into the Super Bowl on this one. Like you mentioned, incredible run for Patrick Mahomes. Don't really see it slowing down, especially because I feel like this year was the biggest testament of like they need to go ahead and get some more playmakers on offense for him. But yeah, I do think that this is kind of the Ravens' chance to go in. They got the offense working, they got the defense, like you said. So this is going to be a good one, but I do think it might be a little bit lower scoring than we expect, only because we've seen how the Chiefs have struggled on offense, and we've seen how good their defense is. So if they can slow down the Ravens at all, I'm thinking it's going to be a little bit lower scoring game. I'm going with the Chiefs against the spread, but I'm kind of leaning Baltimore for the money line. So
nice.
That is definitely going to be a great game, and I'm glad it's first, man, because I this is the one I want to see more. I want to be locked in for that one. So that will be good. That's starting in just over an hour. So that'll be exciting. The next game, the afternoon or the evening game, is the Lions visiting San Francisco. San Francisco is favored by 7. What do you got in this game? What are you seeing for this game?
Yeah, man. I feel like this one's going to be fun. Like I feel like this one might be a high-scoring game. Hopefully, we got a really, really aggressive coach on the Lions side, and he's going to have to keep up with, the offensive attack of the San Francisco 49ers. And likewise, the Detroit Lions score a lot of points too. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I know the Lions are going to be trying to like blitz a lot. I think they're going to try to really get at Brock Purdy, as we've shown. If you can get to Brock Purdy, he has kind of those turnover-esque type games. So I think they're going to really come at him today. So I'm looking for a lot of kind of slant routes and things to Deebo Samuel, and probably some middle of the field stuff to Kittle. You know what I mean? But I feel like the Lions are really going to come after him today. But this is another one too, where I kind of feel like that over-aggression is going to get the best of Campbell this week, because Kyle Shanahan, he really is that dude when it comes to coaching. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I feel like San Francisco is going to win this game, and they're going to cover the spread, but it's going to be because of some kind of, I don't want to say dumb coaching mistakes by Dan Campbell, but it's just that over-aggression. You know what I mean? He's going to go for 4th downs, and that San Francisco defense is going to come up top. Then they're going to go and score. So I feel like, there might be some time in this game where the Lions are playing from behind, and they'll go on a run to catch up. But I think at the end, San Francisco is going to win by that touchdown.
Got you. Yeah, no, I love it. I think you're right on there. I mean, the aggressive nature, it might help them stay in the game early, but it could hurt them late, because there are going to be times where they're going to have to go for it on 4th, or they're going to have to try to stretch. They're going to have to, I see a fake punt somewhere, even in the first half. Like, I kind of feel like this is that kind of game where it's like the Lions need their best game, and they need a couple of those, momentum shifters. If they were to go ahead and win. But I agree. I feel like San Francisco will be ready if they can keep Purdy upright and they can get the ball out of his hands.
Yeah.
I don't see them having a problem in this game, but what could end up being the deciding factor is that San Francisco defense. Their defense kind of quietly hasn't had the same type of year as they've been in the
No,
past,
their
right?
secondary isn't as strong. They lost a lot of people in the secondary.
Yeah, and it's like in years past, the offense was a juggernaut and their defense was ferocious. So it was like, oh dang, you really didn't know how to attack them. But for
Yeah.
this year, like this Niners team, if the Lions can get it going and Jared Goff can get it going, like you said, like it could be a high scoring game, a really fun game because San Francisco's defense just doesn't seem as scary as they have in years past. So I'm definitely going the over, but I also am picking San Francisco on the money line, and I do think that it might end up being a push. It might end up being exactly 7 points, but I do see them. I am going with them against the spread as well. A fun one though. I hope it stays close till late, but I could see the fourth quarter kind of getting away from the Lions a little bit because they're going to start to make their chances. And one thing I do trust in Dan Campbell is that he's not going to go down without a fight. You know what I'm saying? Like they're going to throw everything they can. And if it starts to get away from them, they're going to throw even more. Like they'd rather get knocked out than to lose close. You know what I'm saying?
And I'm with that. I mean, I say it all the time, dude. I can't stand sometimes when and it goes for like all aspects of sports, right? Where it's like, you don't know when your team's going to get this far again, dog. Like you got to throw everything you got. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, that's for football. You know what I mean? For like UFC, especially too. Like you see these things where like, these dudes go after the the champion, whatever division they're in, and they're just so like timid,
trying to play it safe.
Like,
yeah,
dog, like if you don't really win this fight, like it always goes back to the champ. You know what I mean? So like I know Dan Campbell's gonna go, and he's not gonna go down without like, hey, we did everything we could. You know what I mean? Like there ain't gonna be no regrets in this game for them. So
I feel it. Yeah, no, I feel the same way, and you're right. It does happen in a lot of sports where it's like you can't play not to lose. You have to play to win. And if you start to try to be careful or be like, well, I don't want to make too many mistakes. Nah, you got to risk it to get the biscuit. You got to go for it. And I definitely think they're going to go for it, which will make this game very, very exciting. So,
bro, Cardinals, I truly believe the Cardinals would have a Super Bowl champion if they would have just played in the first half the way they did in the second half against the Steelers. You know what I'm saying? Like, but it was too late. You know what I mean? Yeah. They weren't aggressive enough in the first half, and then when they were aggressive, they were destroying the Steelers. But it was too late. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, like, you can't get this far and all of a sudden just, pack it in now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
can't clinch up at the end. You got to just let it go.
We're here. We're going all in.
Exactly. No, exactly. So I love it. We got Stephanie Washington in the building. What's good? She's saying go Lions. I know you want to see them come visit. You know what I'm saying? Come visit Vegas. That'll be really cool though. And I do still think that storyline of potentially having the Lions Chiefs and the rematch of the opening game be the final game of the year too. That would be pretty cool. But I feel like it's a tall task. I think they're really going to have to swing for the fences today. 49ers should get it done. So we'll see. We also got Unk in the building. What's good, Unk? Thank you for joining us. And yeah, let us know, y'all, what your picks are. Ravens, Chiefs, and then Lions, 49ers. So, but that was kind of a quick one. Obviously we don't have as many games to pick through as we normally do. Just going to throw up our records real quick. So yeah, we are tied on the money line side again. So it comes down to, a couple games today and then, that Super Bowl prediction. But on the against the spread on the lock side, you have launched into first place on that one easily. I kind of fell behind on my locks these last couple weeks. So we'll see. The only other thing I did have for today is I wanted to throw up and get a little preview for Tuesday, where we've been talking about the coaching carousel a lot, and we did have some new coaches being hired. So Strizzy, I don't know if you want to give us a couple minutes on this now or if you want to wait till Tuesday, but did you have any initial thoughts about the Panthers' new coaching hire?
I love it, actually. I think, it's one of the coaching's it's a coaching pick that I didn't think we were really going to kind of go after, you know what I mean? But I actually really like the pick. I've from what I've heard around the league as far as like just players talking about how much they love him, you know what I mean? And how good he is, how much of a player's coach he is. And I think players coaches lately have been doing really well. You know what I mean? You look at some guys who are kind of on the younger side, like the Sean McVays, the Mike McBrides, and LaFleur over in Green Bay. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like a lot of younger, offensive-minded guys. And what this dude has been able to do for both Russell Wilson, Geno Smith, and even Baker last year, I feel like this is what we needed last year for Bryce. We needed a real quarterbacks type coach. You know what I mean? Like someone who's going to go in there and actually help him. Like I just do. I mean, like the quarterback coach we ended up with, last year, McCown. Like this dude played for like 20 teams in the NFL his career. You know what I mean? Like this, like a rookie quarterbacks coach for a rookie. Just everything about our coaching stuff last year was just really, really irritating for me. Not everything. Our defensive coordinator was legit. We finished, I think, third or something, fourth, something like that in total defense.
Which is remarkable considering how much they were on the field. Like
seriously, man. Like so, like if he doesn't get the head coaching job, I think head coaching job for the Seahawks, then I think he wants to come back and continue to be our defensive coordinator. So I'm hoping like that would be legit. You know what I mean? That would be super cool. So I'm happy about it. I think if there was a coach that I really wanted for Bryce, it was gonna, I think he would be a perfect one, or even Johnson from who was it, Ben Johnson
Detroit.
from Detroit. So, but I like it. This is the one that I'm actually happy about and actually looking forward to like seeing. You know what I mean? When between our last two coaches, I just wasn't excited about them. You know what I mean? Like, even before the records, you know what I'm saying? I was just like, I don't know. Like I never felt good about it. This one I do, and I'm hoping he can come in here and kind of turn things around for us because, like I said, he did really, really well for the offense for the Bucs last year. He made Geno Smith look really, really good. Got them to the playoffs in Geno's first year with Russell Wilson being gone for his first year. And obviously we saw what Russell Wilson was with them with the Seahawks and, not doing so well after him. So I'm excited about it, man. I think it's a really, really good hire. And like I said, this is one I'm actually excited for. This one I can actually see us, moving up a little bit.
I agree. No, I'm happy for Dave Canales as well as the Panthers. I do think that this will be a little bit more of a better investment in the future, right? I feel like Tepper, I got to give him credit for like stepping back and really realizing some of the mistakes that they've made and going in a different direction, because I feel like with Rule, with him being fired, it's almost like he went the same path again, right? With last year. So it's like now he's like seeing, understanding. I think he's listening to, being close and tuned with what the players really need. Yeah. And this guy, from what I understand, was like a breath of fresh air for the Bucs organization. Like they had a rough year kind of starting off, and he kind of was like that optimistic force for them and really kept them going to be like, hey, we're going to be okay. Like we're going to work through this. We have all the pieces we need right here. And he has got a lot of credit for the season that they had last year. So hopefully that carries over. And one thing I do like about it too is that this guy was not high on their big board, right? Going into the interviews.
Exactly.
And I feel like he came in and impressed them, and that charisma, that like optimism, that vision of the future, he really sold them on that. So I think that's cool. I'm glad that they gave him a chance. So I'm excited to see what happens there.
Same, man. I'm also really excited too about the GM. I love Dan Morgan. Dan Morgan to me is Luke Kuechly before Luke Kuechly. You know what I mean? Like he was an absolute monster.
True.
Back in the day. You know what I mean? And I think he really knows football. He gets along well with the guys that are already currently on the team, and I think he kind of understands kind of Panthers football. And I know we're trying to build a front office kind of the way the Chiefs and the 49ers front office are. So we also went out and we got, I think, one of the VPs from the Chiefs as well. So we got one of those guys coming over too. So really excited about that too. I think they're going to do really, really well and kind of bringing some actual talent, over here as well, and helping us in the draft and kind of, finding those guys that not a lot of people are talking about, who we think can really actually help both the offense and the defense.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, I'm not, the last two coaching staffs I haven't really been excited for. With this one, I'm finally like, all right, we're finally getting some guys and in the front office who I think are going to actually help. So I'm actually really excited for the future. Finally.
No, I love it. Yeah, investing in the future is awesome too, because it's like there's not a quick fix to winning in this league. Like you do have to kind of build it up, you know, and even the Lions, like they've been the quickest fix, right?
Right.
But even Dan Campbell didn't just come out the gate and get them to the
No.
NFC Championship. It took 3 years,
Exactly.
and it took that vision,
Exactly.
and it took the buy-in from the entire organization, top to bottom, to say, let's all pull in the same direction. So it looks like that's what they're doing now. So that's
what did Dan Campbell win his first year? 4 games, something like that. I think it's 4 games his first year.
Exactly.
I mean, which was better than 0-16, you know what I'm saying? Or 1-15.
Like it's gradual steps. Like you ain't gonna find a
Every year they got better. You know, last year they just barely missed the playoffs. You know what I mean? They needed some more things to happen and didn't happen, and now they're in the NFC Championship game. So it's huge.
Yeah. Hopefully a similar path that the Panthers are starting right now. So Unc says a young person as head coach, about someone broke the norm for hiring folks that have had multiple opportunities just to fail, aka Ron Rivera. That's true. And speaking of Ron Rivera, I am happy also that Mr. Canales is representing the Latino community now, because he is the only Latino head coach in the NFL now that Ron Rivera has been fired. So that's what's up. And I think only like the 6th or 7th in history.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Head coach with any basically like Hispanic background. So you know what I'm saying? That's what's up, man. Bring the flavor. You got this. I'm excited for that. A couple other ones, and we won't go really too deep on these, but Raheem Morris returning to Atlanta, I think that's really cool. But it's, I don't know. I was talking to Pops about it a little bit. I'm like, I feel like it's kind of a safe hire because I felt like they were going to go and make a splash. But I also like it because this is another kind of young up and coming, has respect for players, and like, has a lot of pieces to make some things happen. So that's a good one. We'll talk more about that one. Harbaugh from San Diego. I mean, going to San Diego from Michigan, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes you gotta dodge those, dodge those penalties coming.
We talked about this early on. Like, do what Pete Carroll did. Just get out now, my guy. You got the championship. You got the championship.
You've done what you came to do. Now get out of Dodge. And honestly, though, a really unique situation for him because he played at Michigan, and now he went back there as a head coach and won a national championship. He played for San Diego, and now maybe, you know what I'm saying, to go back like as a player and then come back as a coach and to like bring your team to the top, like that's pretty cool. So that shows though the kind of guy that he is as far as like the loyalty. Like he's like those places that he's been throughout his career stayed in his heart, and now he's going back. That's pretty cool.
I love it too, man. Like the Harbaughs, say what you want about them, they are good coaches, both of them. You know what I mean? Like, and
they're football lifers. Like they're really about it. Like that's what they.
He's been to the Super Bowl before, so he got there when he was the head coach of the Niners. You know what I'm saying? So he's back in California. Just a good. I think, and he's going into a good situation. He's got his franchise quarterback. They have weapons. I think they do need to go wide receiver. You know what I mean? This year, Mike's
depending on who comes back.
Not old. Mike's a little beat up, you know what I'm saying? And on the other side of the thing, he's just a little injury prone too. Like, they're just a little bit older, you know what I'm saying? So I think they go out and get the best wide receiver they can. And I don't know, see what they can do on the running back with the running back situation. But he's coming into a good thing, you know what I mean? Like he's not like coming from like a really, really bad team. They were just poorly coached last year.
Most definitely. We got also Antonio Pierce is now officially not the interim coach, but has been hired. And Telesco, the GM, went over there too for the Raiders. So I'm kind of interested to see how they're building up, but that's pretty cool. And then Unk says Mike Evans to San Diego on a 3-year deal. What do you think? I think Mike Evans is going to stay in Tampa Bay. I feel like he wants to keep his career there, and I feel like depending on if they get Baker back and all that, I feel like he's going to stay.
I think so too.
He's a down for life type of person too. So, and also interesting moves. The Eagles got a new offensive coordinator and a new defensive coordinator, Vic Fangio, who had a pretty good year with the Dolphins, and then Kellen Moore, who the Chargers, like, I don't know, man. Like, honestly, the Eagles seem like they're just all over the place trying to get back what they had for that last year, and I'm not sure that this is going to work. Just because you have bringing in 2 coordinators that have very complex systems, and so it's like maybe you have to take a step back to get to take a step forward based on what they're doing, right? And they're shifting so many things. So I don't know.
I don't really know, man. Like it's weird, I'm not, obviously I'm not a Dallas fan. I'm not really a Chargers fan either, so I don't watch them as closely as say you would for your boys or say Trevor would for his Chargers. But like, I don't really know about Kellen Moore. You know what I mean? I feel like because he only did what 2 years with you guys and 1 year with the Chargers, and he's kind of on the run again.
Yeah.
So
well, actually, he was with the Cowboys longer, but it's because he came up through the ranks. Like, I mean, he was literally like on the roster as a backup.
That's true. Yeah, I do remember that.
And then he switched to like offensive assistant. Then he became quarterback coach, and then so he kind of rose through. Definitely not where he was though. A couple years ago, everybody was like, "Oh, this guy's going to be the next Sean McVay." You know what I mean? And I feel like his offense is just like a little bit too complex for that. And I feel like the reason why he was able to have some pretty good success with the Cowboys is because he built that in, like layered it in over time, right? Yeah. But seeing him go into San Diego the very first year, like it didn't really mesh, like it didn't really work out. So
right,
we'll see how that works out for the Eagles. But lots to talk about there. We only have 2 head coaching vacancies left. The Redskins, or sorry, not the Redskins, the Commanders, my bad, and also the Seahawks. So we're getting down to the nitty gritty. I guess my last question for you, and we'll talk more Tuesday. Do you think Bill Belichick is going to be hired as a head coach?
No, and not necessarily because of. I just feel like if he didn't get the coaching job with the Falcons, and the Chargers one is already taken. I don't really see like I mean Seattle's a nice job, you know what I mean? Like I guess maybe he could take the Seattle job if he wants it, but I don't know. For some reason I don't see it. I feel like a coach like him should kind of have the pick of wherever he wants to go. And the fact that he still hasn't, I feel like he's got 1 foot in and 1 foot out. Like I don't even know if he wants to do it. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see, but I could be wrong, but I don't think so.
Yeah, no, at this stage, I don't think so either. I'm really more just wondering if he's going to take a year off and then come back as like a defensive coordinator. Maybe he just rise off in the sunset now. I don't know.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
But yeah, Unc agrees with us though. He says he will not be offered a head coaching job this year. He needs to retire. And yeah, definitely. I felt like the Falcons was like the most push or the most buzz there. Yeah. He did have 2 interviews with the Falcons, and it's something, you know what I'm saying? Something was just not quite right, I guess. Yeah. So we'll see, but I'm happy for Raheem Morris to get that chance for sure. And I do think, though, that Bill Belichick will kind of probably be passed over in this round because I don't think he wants either of those remaining jobs. So
yeah, Falcons need to go. I think the Falcons, they need to go and get Justin Fields. They need to do whatever they need to do to go get Justin Fields. If the Bears' plan is to go and grab Caleb, like they need to go get Justin Fields, man.
Yeah, I heard that, and I also heard a Dak Prescott to Atlanta Falcons rumor.
Oh, word?
But I'm like, well, I don't know, but that would be crazy. Still a lot of drama with the Cowboys and what's going to happen with them. But I'm like, Dak Prescott with those offensive weapons, like, I think he would probably do just fine over there too.
They got so many, man. They have way too many for their offense to be as bad as it was.
Right. All they needed was a stable quarterback over there. So we'll see. But a lot to talk about in the offseason, and a lot of changes will be made, of course. So we'll be going and, bringing you guys our thoughts on all of them. But this is just a little bit of preview. We still got to work out who's going to be in the Super Bowl, and we still got to do our Super Bowl coverage over the next 2 weeks before we can officially launch into the offseason. But this is just kind of a preview, some of the storylines that we'll be discussing through the year. But for now, I think it's time to get this Championship Sunday underway.
Yes, sir.
And, we will be back on Tuesday for episode 231, I believe it is, of our big show. Mm-hmm. So make sure to come back by on Tuesday, chat with us, and we'll be giving our early Super Bowl predictions at that time. But for now, it's your boy A-Dub.
And your boy Stress.
Peace.